Milind, you can start.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, one and all, and welcome to our Toastmasters Club, Toastmasters for Hyderabad Entrepreneurs. And this is meeting number 35. I'm your Sergeant at Arms, Milind Arora, at your service. I'll start the meeting by stating our mission of our club. Our mission of our club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication skills and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. As we all know, the values of Toastmasters are respect, integrity, service, and excellence, and will live by that. All Toastmasters in this virtual meeting room, I request all to raise your right hand and keep it on your heart. And when I complete the Toastmasters promise, at the end, we all will say, I do. So our Toastmasters internal and my Toastmaster club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on Toastmasters educational program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive and friendly environment necessary for all the members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and with courtesy, to bring guests to our club meetings so they can see the benefits of the Toastmasters membership, to adhere to the guidelines and the rules laid by Toastmaster educational program and recognition programs, to act within the Toastmasters core values, which we have discussed just now: integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all the activities and the meetings of Toastmasters. I do.
I do.
I do. I do. I do. Thank you so much, one and all. And there are some basic rules for all Toastmasters meetings, and I call them golden rules: to turn off all your noise-making devices into a silent mode. It would be preferable if you can put it on airplane mode, but I understand there can be an emergency call, so it would be good if everybody put on silent mode. I give you 5 seconds for that. I did my part. Okay, I hope everybody has done that. Request everybody to clap whenever the control is transferred to the other person. You can use your virtual option given at the bottom, emoticons. Please check for your audio and video connections before you start speaking. That is very important for all the virtual meetings. Please stay muted if it is not your chance of speaking. And when given chance, then you can unmute yourself and then speak up, friend. If you face any technical glitches, you can talk to our Zoom master. I hope DTM Raghu, you are the Zoom master for today's meeting as well. Thank you so much. So DTM Raghu is the Zoom master. Any technical issues, you can contact him. Please reframe speaking on these topics. These are very sensitive: sex, politics, and religion, in any derogatory manner. So I hope every time we do that, I hope we will continue to abide by these rules. Today's thought of the day, I am trying to put in align with the theme today, which is a humorous speech. So there's a person, Mary Hirsch. He said, humor is like a rubber sword. Why? Because it allows you to make a point without drawing a blood. And the great writer Oscar Wilde said, if you want to tell people the truth, make them laugh, otherwise they are going to kill you. And in line to that, Herbert Gardner said once you get people laughing, they are listening to you and you can tell them anything, almost everything. So in today's meeting, I welcome all my guests and I hope you all will enjoy today's meeting. and we are going to have a good and great educational session by David, and it is on humorous speech. I would like to pass on the stage to our president. Toastmaster Kapna is there today. Okay, in her place, DTM Raghu will take as the role of presiding officer. Over to you, DTM Raghu.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Milind. You see this bottle? Then you see a glass of water. People talk about half-filled glass, half-empty glass. But how many do actually talk about a glass with water? When we get to the point of arguing, when we get to the point to fight, we all forget the essence of life is to see what we have, not what we don't have, or not just argument. Let us live in the moment. Let us respect each other's differences. Only then we all can live together, learn together, and with the synergy, we can do wonders. That's all is what Toastmasters is about. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We are all one family under one sky. Let's spread our wings and go to all the realms of learning, break those boundaries of caste, creed, religion, whatever it is, even politics or even the boundaries of countries. We have DTM, David Hughes, even though his timing is so hard, the grave hours, he is here to help us. They are just like way we can say when sun rises and the sun is ready to set. We are all here together to learn. So let it just flow in the air and let's all learn. With that, let us start today's meeting. I will also be the MOC or the Toastmaster of the day for the meeting. Usually we have 3 sections in a Toastmaster meeting, which is prepared speeches, impromptu speech table topics, and then evaluations to help us. But in the light of our education session today, we'll have prepared speeches first, and then education session. The third will be evaluation. Let us start our prepared speech section. And we have 3 icebreaker lined up, and then we have fourth speaker, who is doing L1, P3 research and present. Our first speaker is Toastmaster Amit, who has recently joined. He's very enthusiastic and fast learner. Before I call him, let me reinstate the speech objectives for 3 icebreaker speeches. Like in life, there's always a point where we need to introduce ourselves, where we need to break the ice. For that preparation, this speech or the project from Pathways is what will help us. With that note, let me call upon stage Indira. Indira, can you start your video? Thank you very much. Toastmaster Indira. Mystery of my life. Mystery of my life, Toastmaster Indira. No, you're on mute. Okay, good.
Okay, I'm audible and visible.
You're audible and visible.
Thank you.
You can see, let me spotlight timer as well. So are you able to see the timer cards?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Toastmaster Indira, mystery of my life, Toastmaster Indira.
Life is like a steering wheel. It only takes one small move to change your entire direction. Good evening, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests. My name is Indira. I'm from Karnool. My father name is Sudhakar. He is a farmer, and my mother name is Rajalakshmi, homemaker, and two younger siblings, Sunita and Venkat. Today, I would like to talk about my journey. Before I start, let me ask a question. What do you think about life?
Life is a journey.
Life is a roller coaster.
Life is a challenge.
Life is beautiful.
Other plans.
Life is what happens.
Life is now.
Life is the way we express.
Life is a journey.
Thank you for your feedback. Until few years back, I used to think I should get good marks, better percentage, and I will get good job, then salary, marriage, etc. So after completing my bachelor in engineering, I went to Hyderabad with a dream to be in an MNC. I learned few skills and started searching for jobs. Even after several attempts, I could not secure a job in 1.5 years. Then one of my cousins asked to me to come to Bangalore, saying that he will teach me a course. I thought it was a good idea and upgrade myself so that I will get better opportunities. So I moved to Bangalore in search of job 2016, and I have learned a lot from my cousin. I used to get calls after upgrading my profile. I made it to final round in few interviews, but I couldn't make it. I attended around 30 interviews, both inside and outside campus. I couldn't get a job in software field. Slowly, I lost my confidence, and I was labeled as a failure in my relatives and friends. You know, the struggle becomes hard when you have a degree in your hand and no job. Being jobless hits you hard. I have decided finally to go back, and I went back to my hometown 2017. I was both worried and day by day. I lost my confidence. Things became harder when relatives started comparing me with their children who secured a job in an MNC. I was deep depression, and I was angry about myself for a very long time. After some time, it, I started after some and then say that time heals all serious wounds, and so did it for me too. After some time, I started thinking and realized that I was foolish to consider me as a failure, not securing for a job. Then I meditate. I put 3 questions to myself. What are my strengths? What are my interests? And what do I allow to do? Slowly, I realized that I was born to lead. I was trying in a wrong field. My interest from childhood was in fashion. Till then, I was just treating it as hobby. I used to design for myself and for others from my age of 10 itself. After discussing with my parents, I decided to become an entrepreneur. Today, I have online and physical fashion store, and one day I want to grow it to a very big store. I saw a scope of improvement of communication skills, and I joined Toastmasters to improve myself. My dear friends, it is very common for us to lose in life. It is very common for the world to judge you. But remember this, everyone has their own journey, and never compare yourself to others. Realize your interests, strengths, and potential and use it to build your career. It is your life, and it is only accessible to you. Only in living will the mystery be revealed to you. Toastmaster of the day, I hope mystery of my life is impressive. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As my friend Toastmaster Sonia said, it needs 9 Toastmasters to keep a bulb, because 1 to keep the bulb and 8 to clap. It's a custom in our Toastmasters that we all give a standing ovation normally for a icebreaker speech, but in the online meeting, can everybody please unmute yourself and give a big round of applause for Indira. Indira joined our club just 3.5 weeks back, or rather 4 weeks. See the transformation. I think this is a strong testament what Toastmaster can do to you. He was shy, and also he always thought that she was not confident while she was speaking. But today, Indira, you did a great job, and I'm loving the mystery of your life. Thank you very much. So next comes our hero, who I was supposed to introduce, but then I see life has its own plans. Man proposes and God discusses, and Indira came as the first speaker. Amit, can you keep your video on so that I can spotlight you? Thank you very much. Amit, Toastmaster Amit, enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey, Toastmaster Amit.
It's all about the journey, not the outcome. Carl Lewis. Good evening, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmaster, and my dear guest. Let me introduce myself first. I am Amit Kumar. I was born, brought up, and graduated in ancient city Patliputra, which is today known as Patna. While writing my icebreaker speech, I relived my life, and I want to share an incident of my life which had taught me how to enjoy our life without getting much affected by our journey. I did my schooling in Saraswati Vidya Mandir, Kankarwag, Patna. In fact, there are multiple branches of Saraswati Vidya Mandir in every corner of India. And there used to be some events organized in a particular Saraswati Vidya Mandir branch, and students from nearby branches go there and participate in such event where multiple contests or competition quizzes were being held. I too went to a couple of different schools to participate in a contest or quizzes. Once I went to Bhagalpur, a district in Bihar, to participate in a quiz along with my friends and teacher for 2 days. The quiz I was a part of was on the very first day where I was participating along with my two friends as a group. On the very first day in the morning, we lost the quiz and I got upset as we prepared very well and our teachers had expectation from our team. Then I straight went to my room. On the other side, one of my best friend, Rakesh, he was enjoying outside. He went to watch other events like singing competition or science project while I was sitting gloomy in my room. Later in the afternoon, he came to our room and he asked me to come outside and like look at the other events as an audience. I did not want to go as like I was a bit upset since we lost the quiz. I'm not sure why, but eventually I went there and I really enjoyed the other broad events or other contests. Now I could say those 2 days were one of my best days in school. As a child, I could not understand how he taught me and what he just taught me to just enjoy our present life without getting affected by the outcome. Now, when I reflect back, I realize that my friend had taught me one of the greatest mantras to live our life, that is enjoying our present moment. When I took admission in National Institute of Technology, Patna, to pursue my engineering in computer science engineering branch, I was able to implement what I had learned in my school. For example, during our college fest, I don't just focus on participating in a contest or winning a contest. Rather, my main focus was to enjoy our fest as these moments won't come back in our life. After graduation, I joined Amazon as a software development engineer in 2019. I always try my best to apply the same in my personal life as well as professional life. And I believe this is giving me fruitful results. I then also realized the importance of public speaking. And today I would vouch that I am really enjoying taking my first step by giving my icebreaker. Fellow Toastmaster and dear guest, we should always remind ourselves continuously to live in the present without worrying about our past or future, as we always forget this. As Krishna had said in Bhagavad Gita, Karmanyavadhikaraste ma phalesu kadachana, just do your duty and don't worry about the outcome. It is not just the result that matters. Rather, it is the lesson that we learn throughout our journey. Hence, I would encourage each and every one of you to enjoy the present moment and live happily. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Amit. Yes, never give up and live in the present are the two takeaways from your speech. Can we have a big round of applause as a courtesy for first speech? Great job, Amit. Next comes our third speaker. So the beauty of this is he is just a member and just a Toastmaster for 1.5 weeks. And he is here giving his icebreaker. Let us see what Toastmaster Junaid has to say. Toastmaster Junaid, never give up. Never give up, Toastmaster Junaid.
Thank you, DTM Raghu, for the opportunity. And it's great to be a part of Hyderabad Entrepreneurs Club. Hello, everybody. Let me give a short introduction about myself. My name is R. Mohammed Junaid. I hail from Chennai City. My father is a mechanical engineer and my mother is a homemaker. Also, I have a sister who is currently pursuing architecture. I completed my schooling in Kendriya Vidyalaya. After that, I got graduation from Madras University, I pursued BCom. Ever since college days, I always wanted to work in an investment bank. So, as time requires, I joined as a sanctions analyst in Societe Generale. It's a major European banking group where I worked as a sanctions analyst. My job involved monitoring and filtering of transactions related to embargoes and uh, sanctions. I got my biggest career break after 2 years, where I got an opportunity to start my own export company. For 2 years, with a leap of faith and the risk, I left my stable job. Here, I was a one-man army. I had no experience in engineering and in exports, but still, with I learned it by practical knowledge and field experience. My company, Star Premium Products, initially started as a trading company. We used to supply engineering components to UAE market. Now we have developed as a engineering solutions provider, providing mechanical components to all process plants like oil refinery, then oil platforms, offshore platforms, cement plants, automobile plants, etc. We have capacity to manufacture engineering components like flanges, pump wear parts, pipe fittings, gates, couplings, etc. We specialize in machining of exotic steels like Inconel, Super Duplex, Monel, etc. I always dreamt of, after this, I have another venture. Since I was a foodie, I always dreamt of owning a restaurant. With the help of other partners, I set up a restaurant in Bangalore. Now, we are listed in both Swiggy and Zomato with the rating of 4. Apart from this, I have a keen interest in blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. I see them as a future long-term investments. Those are the emerging technologies, like how internet was in early 2000s. My personal hobbies include traveling to different parts of the world. I have traveled extensively across India. And also, I like reading books. My favorite authors include Jeffrey Archer and Dan Brown. As a business person, what I have learned is no matter how many times life knocks you down, you should have a courage to step up every single time. We should cultivate the habit of never giving up and mastering the art of persistence. All my life, irrespective of challenges lay ahead, I had this never give up attitude, and we should never shy away from taking risks. Recently, I saw my scope of improving communication skills. So I joined Toastmasters to develop my skill set in communications. So with help of you and your expertise, I hope to improve my skills. Thank you everyone for welcoming me and to be a part of your family. Thank you.
Congratulations, Toastmaster Junaid. Now I urge everybody to take 1 minute to give feedback to the 3 icebreaker speakers. Milind, please time it.
Anybody can start feedback. Timer is on.
Raghu, you've been on the chat, right? I think you meant it on the chat.
Yes, chat.
Yeah, so everybody can give their feedback on the chat, I guess.
Right. Let me know when 1 minute is over. Okay, thank you. You can still keep sending the feedback in private chat. Now it's time for the next speech. Next speech is by person who's been Toastmaster before me, but then he took a break and he ensured to continue his journey with Toastmaster for Hyderabad Entrepreneurs. Not just that, he is also secretary of the club. Today, he is attempting his L1P3 speech, which is research and present. The objectives are simple: research on any unknown topic and present it in a form of a speech. The style is up to the speaker. So I wish you all the best, Toastmaster Saurabh. Let life be on and let us know the wisdom that you bring. Timer, please note the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. Are you able to see the timer card, Saurabh?
Yes. Can you hear me and see me, Raghu?
Yeah, good. Continue.
Raghu, I have to share my screen also. Can you please give me that permission?
Sure.
Yeah, I think I can share it now.
I think I got confused between Saurabh Tiwari and you. Yeah, you have the co-host now.
Okay. Just a moment. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Time will get started. Do you find these pictures familiar? What is that one common thing across all of these pictures? If I may get answers from the audience.
Technology using maps and towards destination.
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence.
Perfect, perfect. Very close, very close. So all of these pictures or all of these are powered by AI. AI, which is artificial intelligence. Now, I also knew these things work with AI, but what is the technology behind AI? How AI works? I didn't know about that. So as part of this research project, I thought I'll do some investigation and research and try to find out how AI actually works. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. My name is Saurabh Agrawal, and today I'm going to deliver my speech on the topic AI is the new electricity. I'm going to demystify the hottest buzzword in the industry, artificial intelligence, for all of you. Now let's understand what AI is. So the term AI consists of two words, artificial and intelligence. Artificial basically means something which is not natural, and intelligence means the ability to gain knowledge and apply that knowledge into decision making. So what differentiates a human being from a machine. It's the decision-making capability. But if we can train the machine to make that decision on its own, that's when it becomes intelligent. So AI has different branches. For example, robotics, deep learning, fuzzy logic, machine learning, natural language processing, expert system. Now, each example from the previous slide will land into one of these categories of AI. Moving ahead, I did a bit of research on the history and evolution of AI. And I was actually amazed to find out the term AI was coined first in the year 1956, way long back, by Mr. John McCarthy. He's also known as the father of AI. Am I audible?
You're audible. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So in the year 1959, the first AI lab was established by MIT. In the year 1975, the first practical use of AI was done in medical science. But from 1975 to 1987, there was a dip in the interest of AI. But after that, it again picked up. So in the year 2011, the first voice assistant Siri was introduced. In the year 2016, the robot AlphaGo beat the world champion of Go tournament. And let me tell you that Go is one of the most toughest game in this world, which has a lot of strategy inbuilt. Now it is predicted that by 2024, the AI spending each and every industry is going to increase by 25 or 30%. Now, since I was from a programming background, I wanted to find out the difference between a traditional programming and machine learning. So what happens in a traditional programming, you have a program, you have input data, you have rules, and based on those rules, the program will give an output. For example, a program to calculate simple interest, if you give PRT, it will do what is the interest on that parameters. Versus machine learning, you basically feed in data as well as answers to begin with to train the AI model. And based on that, the rules are automatically created by machine learning model. To take an example, if we feed thousands and thousands of images of Apple to a machine learning model, it will find patterns within those images and it will create to recognize an image which has Apple. Now the complexity over here is the apple can be of different shapes, it can be of different size, it can be placed anywhere in the image. Just think about the complexity which is there in the images. So based on those complexity, it finds the pattern matching and identifies a future which is or not. Now coming to future of AI. Now before that, let me tell you, this question is, if AI has been in the industry for quite so long, why is it so popular nowadays? There are two main reasons for that. One, the availability of the data, and the second is the availability of computational power. Now coming to the future of AI, everything has two sides. So AI also has positives and negatives. So if you look at the negative aspects of AI, the biggest challenge is the bias in the AI model. To take an example, Amazon created a recruitment model for screening the candidate, and soon it realized that the model was biased against women. So because the model is trained with the data, and if there is a bias in the data, the model itself will be biased. Go and search for deepfake videos in YouTube. You'll find a lot of videos, and it will be hard for you to differentiate between a real video and a video. Likewise, the biggest challenge is data privacy. Since AI model needs a lot of data to train itself, the data comes from us, the human beings, and that's where it poses a threat to our privacy. This is one of the from YouTube from Boston Dynamics. You can actually go and watch these videos from Boston Dynamics and see how AI in action, and you will be amazed to find out the complexity and the application which they have done using AI. These are few of the references which I took to come up with this presentation. And finally, to conclude, I'll say, can you imagine your life without electricity these days? I'm sure many of us would say no. What electricity did 100 years back, it transformed almost every industry. Same is the case with AI. AI is going to transform every industry in the coming future. So that's why I call AI is the new electricity. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you very much, Saurabh. Audience, please take 30 seconds to give feedback to Saurabh. Timer is time for 30 seconds. Thank you very much for the feedback. And I'm proud to announce, and rather the information that Toastmaster Saurabh has completed his level 1. Can we have a big round of applause for that? Another good thing is that we are running ahead of the meeting. So I will give you a bonus for everyone. We can take 2 minutes break for now, and then we can reconvey by 2 minutes. So Milind, please time. So it's 7:42 in India time PST. We'll reconvey at 7:44.
That's really generous of you, Rico. 2 minutes. That's very generous.
Raghu, Milind was the most excited when you said break, but unfortunately he has to time this and he has got no break. So
Milind has to time for the break also, right? He cannot go
yeah.
away.
he just loves Toastmasters too much. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Our HSC, humorous speech session has already started by David.
Yeah. David's warming up, I think. So.
I've got some good ones to tell you later. Yeah. No.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. We'll see what happens.
So in between the speech, Raghu, what happened? There was a chat message. So I actually got confused whether I'm audible or not. That's when I paused for a moment.
No problem. But thing is, you were able to complete it within time.
Yeah.
So
actually, after that, I speeded a lot.
No problem.
I worked in telecommunications for 18 years and I was the editor of the Telecom Australia Engineering magazine. And I used to write articles about the future of telecommunications, integrated switching data networks and all sorts of things. But I was blown away when I was speaking at Infosys in Chennai. And they showed me some of the future. And then they took me to Reddington's that do a lot of printing in this room that I thought was just a room with product in it. And it seemed that was like the 3D printer, and it was a massive thing.
I'm sorry to interrupt, David. It's time for your session. So I would hate to say this word so properly. This is something that I always keep saying people not to use, but I still use. David Hughes is well known across the world, and he normally doesn't need introduction, but still for this part of the world to be known, I'll introduce himself. He's part of only one club right now because that is his choice. He's part of King's Communicator Toastmaster Club, Australia. He started his journey in 1986, took a break for the family, and came back. He believes in servant leadership, and his tagline is we serve ourselves best when we serve others. Great line. He is the author of 2 books, Memory Magic and 3 C's in a Nutshell. He enjoys music, travel, golf, and spending time with family and friends. When I say friends, he's a magician at making friends across the universe. He loves traveling and he's been to India a couple of times and looking forward to visit us as soon as the restrictions go up. I'm looking forward to see you, David Swan. With that note, let's invite David Hughes to start the session, how to craft a humorous speech better. I will, yeah. So you can, if you want, you can tell the timer when he has to show you.
Yeah, look,
start.
it's how long is this session for? 45 minutes, 45 minutes. It's a long time. Look, if you can give me a green light at 40 minutes, or no, give me a green light at 35 minutes, an amber one at 40, and the red light at 45.
Great.
Okay?
Yeah,
Thanks,
so
Melanie.
I will remove the timer from Spotlight and then Spotlight you.
Okay.
And now we can start. Thank you.
All right. Before I show you some slides, let me tell you something. I was telling my son today, I've got to give this bit of a workshop on humorous speaking. What will I talk about? He said, don't talk, Dad. He said, just show them pictures of your wedding. Mum always laughed at them. So he was really the inspiration for what I'm about to tell you. I've had 5 careers in my life. And I worked in places for a long time. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat. I worked in Telecom Australia for 18 years. I've worked in mental health and I've done youth work and I've worked in all sorts of places. But, you know, I worked in a bank for 2 days, but I got fired because a customer one day asked me to check her balance. So I pushed her over. That's how you check balances. But tonight I'm going to talk to you about how you craft and deliver a humorous speech. Now, you're all Toastmasters, so you know that speaking is done for a purpose. And there's really only 4 reasons to speak at Toastmasters. One is to inform people, one is to persuade, to inspire, or to entertain. And humorous speaking is about entertainment. But the speech is not a lot different to any other speech. And the humor is kind of sprinkled on the speech, a bit like adding salt to a meal. It's not the biggest part of it. Every person in a Toastmasters club has the ability to do a really good humorous speech. Because as Indira said earlier, what do you think about life? What do you know about life? We are life, each of us, and we have a life and we see things and we observe things that sometimes make us smile, make us laugh. So I'm just going to share my screen because this is not just me talking. I'm going to talk for a while, and then I'm going to get you all to do an exercise on humorous speaking. I just need to know that you're all happy to do that, because I'm going to give you the opportunity to give us a 2-minute story. But I'm going to brief you first about what humor is and what it isn't. So let me just call up a slide here for you before we start. And just bear with me a moment. So they say that laughter is the best medicine. Now, what we laugh at depends on our own sense of humor. I'm not sure whether you know this, but there are 9 types of humor. And surveys suggest that the best one that the people laugh at the most is physical humor, slapstick stuff. clowns and other things. And the one they laugh at least is dark humor. So before you give a humorous speech, you have to know what type of humor you're giving, what you like, what you enjoy. The audience may not. So you need to check that. As I say, there are 9 types. And I'm going to go through each of those with you and tell you a little bit about them. So a humorous speech is not a stand-up comic version of a speech. It's not a series of jokes. It's like any other speech. It has an opening, it has a body, it has a conclusion, and it has a bit of a story through it. But what's the difference with humorous speeches is that there's a surprise in a humorous speech. You're taking people on a journey and they're going one way and they're following you, and then you turn quickly and they're still walking the other way in a sense. And that's where the laughter comes from. So I want you to think about when you've heard humorous speeches, what made you laugh? Who was speaking? Did it have any bias? You know, sometimes we laugh at our friends speaking, but not necessarily strangers, or we laugh with them. So laughter is the best medicine, but now I'm going to tell you about the 9 types of humor. And I want you to try and identify which one you like. And then when I ask you to speak later, the audience is going to try and identify which one you're using. So the 9 types of humor are these. Physical humor is, you know, clowns, slapstick, you know, somebody slips on a banana peel and we laugh. Self-deprecating humor is laughing at ourselves. Stand-up comedians do that a lot. Surreal humor, the 3rd type. If you've ever watched Monty Python or something like that, it's silly type humor. Sometimes in speeches in Toastmasters, someone will come on and do a humorous speech and they're dressed up. They're, you know, I've seen a contest winning speech where the guy, excuse me, was dressed up as a pilot. I remember one day when Craig Valentine came to our conference, there was a guy on the stage with him. He was coaching him. He said to the guy, "Start your talk." And the guy said, "Right." And he held his hands up here. He said, "I was driving my dad in the country." And Craig Valentine stopped him and said, "Let me stop you there." He said, "How big's the steering wheel in the car?" And the guy said, "Oh, yes, I was driving my dad in the country." Interesting. Improv is add-on humor. Somebody starts saying something, and somebody says and they continue the story. Wordplay or puns, using words in a different way. The thing about the bank was a pun. I got the sack because a lady asked me to check her balance. So I pushed her over. That's wordplay. Topical humor is things you observe in today's world. Take a look at Mr. Trump. Any politician, listen to them speaking, and you lift your eyebrow and sometimes think, yes, that'll be right. Observational humor is what you see and what you laugh at. You know, we live in the pandemic. It's a difficult time. A lot of people have lost their jobs. I used to think if you lost your job, that was a recession. If I lose mine, it's a depression. There's a difference in the way I see things. Bodily humor, the 8th type, is you hear it now and again. It's not really good. People talk about bodily actions and other things. Might be funny to some, but it doesn't hold an audience. And dark humor is where people make fun of or laugh at bad things that happen. So they're the 9 types. And each of us prefers one of them, generally speaking. You know, we look at all of them, but we generally prefer one of them. Myself, I like self-deprecating humor. If I can't laugh at me, I can't expect an audience to laugh with me. So that's what it's about. But I want to do an exercise. We've got, I'm not sure exactly how many people here tonight, 30 odd. Now, I didn't ask for breakout rooms, so we're just going to have to do it some other way. But knowing they're the types, I want you to consider what type of humor you like and what type of humorous speech you would give to an audience. And while you're thinking about that, think about 5 questions. And they are these. Who is my audience? If you don't know the audience, you're not going to be able to humor a lot of them. You have to know the audience. In this club, if your friends in this club have got guests here, you can only guess at what sort of humor they're like. So who are they?
Do you want me?
Why are they? No, we'll answer them soon. So who is the audience here? Then ask yourself, why are they here? They've come here tonight because they want to hear someone speak about humor and other things. So already you know that they've got an interest in it, and that's good. The third question is, what sort of humor drives them? And the last 2 are, what are they expecting from David Hughes? And what does David Hughes have to give them? Now, those 5 questions can be used in any type of speaking. If you don't know your audience, if you don't know why they're here, if you don't know what forces drive them, if you don't know what they expect from you, and if you don't know what you've got to give them, that's a lack of preparation. Public speaking, like anything, is a skill set. And you have to prepare, and you have to spend time thinking about it before you can deliver a really good speech. So let's go to the exercise. And I'll explain it to you. I'll ask you to do it. Then I'm going to get the audience to have a listen. Try and work out what type of humor you've used. And then I've got a prize for the best story.
David,
So,
do you want me to create the breakout rooms? I can create.
yeah, if you could, that'd be good. We'll have a breakout room, and we've got, how many people have we got, Raghu? 41?
Right.
How about we have, can you do what, 4? Would that be enough? 4 breakout rooms or 1? 2, maybe 2. And let people work together in a group.
Okay.
Come up with some stories, okay?
So I'll create 2.
Create 2, that would be good. And you can choose who goes in what room, if you wish, or people can go into 1 or 2. All right. So let me give you the instructions. So we're going to look at a 2-minute story using any type of humor you wish, but try one of those 9. You can use more than 1, but I can tell you this, in all surveys that have ever been done, physical humor is the best, dark humor is the worst. So just remember that. Are we ready for this? Are you going to be happy doing this? And then we'll need a list of people who will tell their story at the end of this, okay? So it would be good if we have a mixed group, and be careful, you know, have no bias, and be careful of what you're saying, considering the protocols and rules of Toastmasters. But I must say, before we start this, you know, it's not a rule of Toastmasters, but it is a club thing, that when you're giving speeches, you can't talk about sex, politics, or religion. Okay, now it's interesting because sex creates life, politics regulates life, and depending on which religion you're in, it promises you an afterlife. So all those 3 subjects are about life, but we're sensitive to the needs of others. Okay, so I'm happy to listen to any stories. I don't have a particular preference, but I know what I like and what I don't. Okay, so the Breakout rooms are open, so I'm going to give you all what I need a 2-minute speech. So let's give you 10 minutes to come up with a story. For those who want to go into breakout rooms, the others can stay here and we'll talk about some other things. But this is an experiential exercise. So I could talk to you for 40 minutes about humor. I could tell you some humorous stories myself, but I want you to do the work here, and I'll be your kind of advisor and coach. And I know Jai does humorous speaking and some other people here, so I'm happy if they stay in the room with me.
I have assigned everybody to different breakout rooms, so please feel free to join.
I'll put the other slide up.
So once they all move up, David, we can once visit the room and then tell them, and the timing as well. So
that's great.
Raghu, this Milind here. So how you want? So I will be joining one of the room. So
Yeah.
timing will still be going on, so that should be fine.
Whoever's in the rooms is fine. I mean, not everyone will want to do this, so that's fine.
You can keep running the time, not an issue.
Okay.
So what we want them to do is think about the last time they laughed at a humorous speech. What was funny about it, and who was the speaker? Then work out, was the speech one of those 9 types or more than one? And then we're going to give them 2 minutes to tell a humorous story using one of the types or more than one if they wish. And then we're going to ask the audience to vote for the best story and try to guess which type of humor was being used.
Sure. So everybody I've assigned one or other rooms to each one of you. Please join.
And in the meantime, we'll have fun here, drinking Coca-Cola, chewing gum and chatting amongst ourselves. So we've given you 10 minutes, so 8 to 10 minutes should be plenty to do that.
10 minutes.
And don't be afraid. Remember this, that everyone has the potential to do a wonderful humorous speech. They can perform well. And performance is just potential minus interference. So don't worry if somebody says, oh, that's no good or that's no good. Just go with it, you know. As someone said previously, we're all different people. We all have different ways of doing things. Try and have some sort of consensus, but do your own thing. And it should be funny, and let's enjoy it when you come back in the room, okay?
I'll think few are still in the main room. Divij Reddy, Mark Young, Umesh Shawan, Kolnal Tarun, Muhammad Kalam, Yashna Singh. Please join the breakout room, and
For those who don't want to join the breakout room, you know, that's fine. They can stay in the main room with us. So.
Okay, great. So I'm starting the timer. This timing is only for the story.
And we'll give you a 2-minute warning. So 10 minutes and 8 minutes will give the time. We'll give you a 2-minute warning to come back. Okay.
Sure. Okay. I'm just going to breakout room and see how they are doing, and then come back.
Yeah, please do, and enjoy. It should be fun. We're going to have fun, and that's what this is about. Okay.
Yeah.
Toastmasters is a place where you learn in an atmosphere of support and fun.
Nightmares and of that, so it's been crazy. So those are things happening on my side. But am I a humorous guy? I'm not a humorous guy at all. I'm very, very serious guy. I don't know how to laugh also. I don't know how to take a joke. How would I even give a humor speech right now and bore you all? Why don't somebody of you spare me the pain of trying to act as if I'm the expert here? Saurabh is there, Jay is there, Atul, pick up, beat me up.
So already you have given a humorous speech in this breakout room.
Good to see you all, guys. Yeah, I've not even given an icebreaker speech anyway.
More element of the incident.
Yeah.
Then we can probably build some content over that, and any of us can speak.
If you ask me, the easiest is to probably talk about your own life experiences.
Self-deprecating. Yeah.
Self-deprecating is the easiest one, because you can just pull out from your own experiences and talk.
Raghu can tell something. Raghu has got some points.
Yeah.
He's just trying. He's just observing us.
I'm only observing, and then just to let you know that there's a 10-minute time. and you will be intermittent when it is just 2 minutes to complete. So
Okay.
come up with anything that you can, and then let us
Okay.
see which team fares well.
Yeah, thanks, Raghu, for coming out of hiding. But just to help us out, we are pretty clueless what's going to happen at the end of 10 minutes.
David is here.
David is
the
here.
master is.
I just joined to listen actually, but
Yeah, I see everybody's spying on us. So
I should go into room 1 actually, but so yeah. So has someone got an idea of a speech? Yet?
Yeah, Anto was having the idea. Anto, can you explain?
Milan is very tactful. He's the let's say the gesture or the humorous one of the club. So
And I can make faces, different types of that's it.
yeah,
That's the
so there we
humor
go. Style decided. Physical humor.
without any words.
Milan,
David, do you have any character or any situation that you can give us so that we can
Look, I would really like you to come up with your own idea, but think about something that happened.
Hey Jay, you're still here?
No, we went to the room that was assigned, but there was only one person speaking, so we left.
Which was the room 2?
I think it was room 2, yes?
I think so. I'm not sure. I forgot. We were assigned to that room, but there was only one person who kept on speaking, so we thought.
Well, like for close to 5 minutes, only one person was speaking, and they weren't very clear about what was to be done.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and also, yeah.
So whether we can try the other room?
Yeah, go ahead. So room 2 is where?
Room 2.
Okay, thank
If
you.
not, I would like to just be in the main room with David.
David is there in room 2.
Oh, I'll go to room 2 then.
Thanks, Raghu.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we all go through this kind of movement or probably a thought process. So nothing wrong with it. And ultimately, we are all a family and we are all trying to get over whatever mindset, little bit of inhibitions, and probably things that we feel that makes us a good speaker. Nothing is good or bad about speaking. It's how well you can communicate. And today it was so heartening to see 3 people speaking and trying to get over whatever inhibitions they had. This is something wonderful about Toastmasters.
Hey, Tarun, did you attend the meeting from the beginning?
Yes, I was there. In fact, today only I got connected to Raghu.
Okay, I just attended the meeting just before the breakout room started. So I missed out the whole thing. That's why I'm trying to act smart here. I'm trying to yap around here.
Just like the kid in the skill. So you have the humorous speech there. Okay, so what you need to do is you have another 4 minutes. You need to come up with your story all together, build your story, and that it should be humorous part. So come up with any story that you think that audience will laugh at.
Tarun, give some ideas, please. You attended the speech from the beginning. Give some ideas. Throw some thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about my bald head. Okay,
we can.
I have my bald head. You can make jokes about the bald head.
We can work on this concept of we all want people to hear, but we are so shy of people trying to hear us or trying to do something that we are so passionate about. So what we end up doing is that we ask God that help me in my journey, and when He does, and lo behold, if you find that you are all alone there and nobody to watch you performing your best act, probably on these lines, I'm reminded of a story which resonates with this at the golf course. There was this preacher who was so fond of playing golf on Sundays that he would not mind missing out on his sermons. So one fine day he was having this pang of
with the word.
I think I had a time when I took athletics way too seriously, since it's Olympics and stuff like that. And,
yeah. So what happened?
What happened was that basically I would just run and dash, not just in the track and field, but even in the school corridors as well. And I had this instance where I didn't make it to class, and my teacher told me, the next time you don't make it to class, I'm going to take you to the principal. And the next time, as usual, she was about to enter the class, and I was making a dash for the, for the class. I did not make it, but I was running so fast that my shoe got into the class.
Okay.
And yeah.
So that would be observational, and it would also be a bit of slapstick. People seeing that would laugh at that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. We have 2 minutes to wrap up.
2 minutes. It isn't easy. I didn't expect this exercise to be easy for you. I just wanted you to think about it.
Hi, please note that you have just 1.5 minutes to wrap up this exercise and come up with.
So Raghu, how many stories? We just have to come up with one single story, or multiple stories?
One story.
I think it is a 2-minute or 3-minute time, so only one story can fit it.
Okay. Okay.
That golf is a good one. So we got to speak about this, Raghu, there in the main meeting or what?
Yes.
Okay, I'm dropping off. Bye-bye. See you. Tarun is the one going to speak. He's got a good job. I'm scared now. I'm just bye-bye. Yeah, we got a golf priest playing golf. We got a fantastic humorous one.
Ensure it doesn't hurt somebody's sentiments when you're talking about priest.
Priest is religion again. Oh gosh, man, Raghu, you're correct. That's right. We should not talk about a priest. Tarun.
3 rules. Do not talk in a demeaning manner about religion, sex, and politics.
Politics. This is a religion. We got to be really careful. That's tough. Hey, Tarun, how can you insult my priest, man? You can't be doing that.
Now it's time.
Yeah.
In 30 seconds, we'll be closing all the rooms. You need to come to the main room.
So we can change priest to anything.
I guess we are waiting for everybody else to come back from their rooms, is it?
Right.
Yeah, nice.
The rooms will be done another few seconds. 3 seconds. Everybody should be here. Great.
Some of us are back. How did you find the exercise of trying to think about something humorous to say in a speech? Away for the others, but was it easy?
Challenging. Very challenging.
Instead of finding humor, we found confusion.
Well, there you go. Now that will make a good speech.
It's very challenging. I'm sweating like.
It is. I don't know whether you've ever heard this saying, but and I tell this to the committees in Toastmasters, that a camel is a horse designed by a committee. Sometimes things get confused because everybody wants to add their bit. Everyone has an idea. So you can settle things 3 ways. You can have a majority vote. You can compromise, and not everyone likes compromise, or you can have consensus. This exercise gives you an idea of how difficult consensus is, gives you an idea of how difficult it is to come up with a humorous speech when you're working in a group. That's why it's an individual pursuit. And the purpose of what I'm doing is just to let you know that there's sensitivities involved. There's 9 types of humor. And it's hard to give a humorous speech if you don't know what they are. Every country, you know, American humor is totally different to British humor. Indian humor, Malaysian humor, it's all different. And if you've got an international group like this, what some people will laugh at, other people won't. What some people will smile at, other people won't. And if you give a humorous speech to a group like this, you may go away thinking, gosh, they didn't like that. You know, nobody was laughing. Well, would that stop you trying to do it again? As somebody said in a speech earlier, we get knocked down, but we get back up again. And that's what this is about. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway, sorting out the confusion and other things. It's easy for me when I say that. I'm from Britain. I've traveled the world. I've, you know, spoken to lots of people. We've had Jai was over here with his wife, Sham. A little while ago, we had one of the funniest speakers from Britain with us, didn't we, Jai? Staying with me. And we had a wonderful time and we were giving speeches and we were having great laughs and all that. But we'd spent a lot of time together. It's not easy to do it in 8 minutes. Okay. So did you speak about your situation, Parul?
Yes. So like you said, I wrote a little bit about, Anto said, why don't we try something about our life that we are going through? And then it became a little easier.
Okay.
And so I thought, you know, how we are crammed up in a closed house and during COVID situation. And I kind of remembered all the funny instances that have happened together. So I kind of jotted them down and I have something in mind.
Well, that's great. Because what we're going to do now, when people are back and back on screen, we're going to ask some people to tell us a short story for 2 minutes. And the audience is going to applaud all the speeches because that's what we do in Toastmasters. And then we're going to take a vote on what the best speech was. Now, best in terms of audience applause or whatever. You know, there's many best things, you know. And then I'm going to award a prize to the one that I thought was the funniest. But I'll do that privately and I'll send the prize, okay? And you'll laugh when you get it, which is good. All right. So are we close to go? Can we have everyone back on screen, please? If they're still here. Raghu, are they all coming back on screen? Good. So we've got time. I'll ask the timer. Can you tell me how much time we've got left? Timer, please.
Yeah, for the green card, we still have 3 minutes. Overall,
okay, so we've got 13 minutes altogether, okay?
Yes.
Right. So let's have 5 speakers, okay? 5, maybe 6. 5 to start with. I'll show you how I get volunteers. I ask for volunteers. So I ask for 1 volunteer and I count to 10. And then I choose the person. So it's much better if you volunteer when I ask, okay? So let's have the first volunteer, please, to give us a 2-minute story on any subject. Parul, take it away. Put your hands together, please, for Parul. Right.
Thank you. Thank you. So
I think second one is Diana.
Just 2 minutes and a red light at the end of 2 minutes, okay? Please.
Shall I start? Okay, thank you. So I'm going to talk about how we survived COVID, being locked up in our room, in our houses. Initially, we thought, wow, no more travel. We don't have to go to offices. We can chill at home. We can watch as much Netflix as possible. However, then right away, the Zoom life started. What I call Zoom life is, you know, tens of meeting day in and day out, at the middle of night, in the early morning, at the lunch hour. And then we realized that, this is not something that we signed up for. Each one of us got one corner in the room, and I have 2 kids, so they have 2 computers. I have 1 laptop, husband has a laptop, and we only have 3 rooms. So finally, I got a corner in my bedroom, and I set up my stuff over there. And somehow, so my son is here, who's also trying to tell me that, no, what you're saying is not right. You are putting me and my brother in the same room. So, you guys have got the better half of it. 1 second, beta, can I come, please? Yeah. So we exchanged each other's computers as well. And we became each other's hairdressers. There were new hairstyles that emerged out of it. Some were like mohawks, some were bald. And that brought in some bit of fun. We became great cooks. We tried various recipes. We recorded various videos together. The kids became so anxious. My son can't even stop speaking right now. With all this, that they realized, they somehow felt that screens are the only things that are keeping them going. So my younger one, who's 4 years, he keeps 3 or 4 screens together and he watches parallelly, so that he doesn't miss out on any of the videos. I mean, one is not enough for him. He's too bored of one. So after a while, we are now bored of it. And this week, incidentally, I started going back.
I'm sorry to interrupt. You need to stop at red card.
Okay. So it's another pain now, getting back, dressing and driving back to office. Oh my God, this is something that I'm feeling that, again, it is a journey. I did not sign up for it. Thank you.
That was great. That was great. What was good about that, Parul? You were smiling while you were telling it. I watched the screen. Other people were smiling too. So that was successful for you. Okay. So you had an idea in the room and you came out with it, and talking about your child was talking. That was great. That's all it takes for humor. It's just a story about what's happening with a bit of humor in it, which was great. Well done.
Just to give others more time and more people to join, please end as soon as you see the red card.
Okay. All right. So I think some other people put their hand up. So let's take them in turn. I saw a message there before. So there's 3 other people. Just whoever wants to go next, please go. 2 minutes. Once the red light comes on, if you could stop speaking. Maybe you can pin the timer so as you can see where he is each time. Okay. I'll put him up there.
The new ones don't know where is the red light. I didn't see that red light at all.
Yeah, you need to pin the timer so he's on one side of the screen. Okay. Okay. So who's next, please?
Atul Srivastava.
Atul, please.
Long time back, I was a young boy and I went to the college and was ragged in an engineering college. Right at the college gate, I was confronted by a senior who looked less like an engineering student and more like a terrorist. He said, "You stupid, look down. Don't smile." So I looked down. Move back, forward, I move forward. Move backward, I move backwards. Turn clockwise, I turn clockwise. Turn anti-clockwise, and I turn anti-clockwise. Do magnetic motion, I did magnetic motion. He made me do so many motions that I felt like having real loose motion. Then he said, "You see that lady? Go, run, hug her and kiss her." I thought it is end of my life. Said, "If you don't do that, I will kill you." And somehow I ran towards that lady and accomplished that task. And the end prize of that task, she gave me a very hard slap, which still echoes in my ear. And that pain multiplied when I came to know that she was our thermodynamics teacher. that pain is still haunting my memory, that I don't kiss my wife even now with full confidence. On the second day, during my ragging, I was told to sing a song in lady's voice, and I sang. Oh, my dear, come in my arms. He said, I asked you to sing in a lady's voice.
Have to stop you there, Achal, because the red light's on, okay? But well done. That was very well delivered. Very well done. I watched the audience and people were laughing and smiling at that, so it was very good. Can we have the next speaker, please?
Diana, do you want to type and send? That's fine.
Have a go, Diana. No problem.
You can take time to type.
Yeah. You got 2 minutes, Diana, okay?
Yeah, so.
I think she typed already in the chat.
She's typing.
Shall we go? Are you typing your story in the chat, Diana? Okay.
I think she's already typed her story.
No, she typed her story already. That's what she's trying to say. Just before that green for David, she typed it. My story is my story in life, past way life is that ruled by parents' house, and I has an Apple as computer long ago in my room. I work to study, work so hard. That's what she's saying.
Thank you. Can we have a round of applause for our story?
Yeah.
And all. She is a Toastmaster for 24 years. Can you believe that? And still she continues her journey. Thank you very much, Diana.
Thanks, Diana. Yeah, I watched Diana give it a table topic recently and loved her smile and said that at the time, I think, which was good. Well done, Diana. All right. One more, please.
Yeah, Jay.
Well, David knows that I'm blind. And for the rest of you, I am blind. Now, I recall several years ago walking up to shake another blind Toastmaster's hand, and we missed by a foot. Why is meeting somebody so important to me? Because at 41, I was still single, ready to mingle. I remember I had flowers, but I had no lovers. I had a life, I had no wife. So I posted my picture and profile onto an online matrimonial site in India and waited for 3 years with no luck. My car was getting more hits on the roads in Bangalore than my profile was on that site. I was about to give up when I got a ping from a woman in Malaysia who said she was interested in seeing me, but couldn't travel to India to meet me. Well, you know what they say, if the mountain can't come to Muhammad, Muhammad goes to the mountain. So I traveled to Malaysia to see her. It was the Kuala Lumpur International Airport. And being the hopeless romantic that I am, I rushed up to embrace her and gave her a kiss on the cheek when she just shied away in horror and says, no kissing, this is an Islamic country. And I told her, well, it says KLIA behind your head. Isn't that kissing legal in airport? She said, no, that's Kuala Lumpur International Airport. So that, ladies and gentlemen, long story short, 15 years later, today, this year in December, my wife and I would be celebrating our 15th wedding anniversary. I met her online. So it has been, as I said, something that has taken somebody who had flowers but no lovers to someone who now has a partner who I can give a flower to on our wedding anniversary this year in December. Thank you.
Great, Jai. And I can attest, a happily married couple. I've spent lots of time with Jai and Sham. It's good. We've got time for one more, I think.
Okay, could I go? Could I? Yes. Asking me to produce a humor speech is like asking me to produce electricity, for I do not have the mental capacity nor the tenacity to respond to your audacity to ask me to tell a humor story. to try is to show my opacity rather than my perspicacity.
That's amazing. That's almost like rap. That was very good. Well done, Zelda. Well done.
Thank you.
So we've listened to 5 people who found it confusing when they were in the room trying to come up with a humorous speech. You know, humor, like beauty, is often in the eye of the beholder. Every person who lives has the ability to speak in a humorous way. But in order to do it, and to do it well, especially in contests and other things, is to view and observe life. Be attentive to what's going on around you. There are funny things happening all the time, whether it's in, and we don't speak about politics, but if you look at what's going on around the world, there's some funny things going on. And you can write a speech around all of these things, whether it's family, whether it's about school, work, whatever. Humorous speaking is not a great deal different than speaking any other way. As I said earlier, to give a good humorous speech, it's about prepare your speech, have your opening and your body and your conclusion, work out the time and sprinkle the humor in the speech, just like adding salt to a meal. It spices it, but it doesn't take the taste of the purpose of the speech away. I hope you've learned something. I've got some notes that accompany the slides I did, and I'm more than happy to send them to Raghu. And if I'm sure he's got your phone numbers and things. If you want copies of them, you can have them. And for the prize, I've written a book on this sort of stuff, and I will give that to a person, but I'll direct message them to let them know, to show there's no preference yet. I'll work it out, or perhaps I'll send it to each of the people who've spoken. But thanks for listening, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something, and I wish you well next time you step up into a contest or give a humorous speech in your club. And I thank Raghu for inviting me to do this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David, for taking the time and ensuring that we all are enlightened with the knowledge that is required to crack our next humorous speech contest or add that spice of humor to our speeches. Thank you very much. Now it's the time for breakfast. What I mean by breakfast is the evaluation. Why do we need evaluation? Is where do we else know how to improve upon? While every walk of life we are judged, people tell us what is lacking in us. And they talk in such a demeaning manner that we sometimes feel like killing ourselves or feel so low. In my own life, I suffered from stuttering problem, stammering problem, or inability to express my thoughts in a proper message. What it led to is people always showing me below, always try to make fun of me. When I joined Toastmasters, what I loved best was no one judged me ever. They told me, they didn't tell it was weakness areas or something that's bad or weakness areas or something that I have to do it, but they just told improvement areas. For those improvement areas, they told me how I can do better. So now let us move to this interesting section. As I told, breakfast for champions is evaluation. Let's start the evaluation of this meeting. Let's call first speech evaluator. Toastmaster Amit's speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Shiva. I invite Shiva to come up on the stage and
once again, very good evening to everyone. And thank you, DTM Raghu. Enjoy the journey. TM Amit, it was indeed a journey. The way you were giving your speech was really wonderful, because the way you constructed your speech, introduction, body, and the conclusion, everything was perfectly apt. You began your speech with a quotation that I really love, and in fact, I follow that. it's all about the journey, not the outcome. Don't focus on the outcome at all whenever you're working on something, be it personal or professional. Rather, you try to focus on what you're doing at the moment. For example, if you're trying to prepare for speech, try not to think of the impression that you're going to leave on your audience when you deliver it. Rather, try to focus on what you're trying to do at the moment in terms of your speech preparation, be it language improvement, vocabulary, maybe idioms, things that you have to add, the elements to make the biryani tasteful, right? When all the ingredients are equally balanced, only then the biryani tastes delicious. So the beginning was fantastic with the quotation. It's all about the journey, not the outcome. And I suggest every one of us should learn this and try to implement in our life, our own life. Then, yeah, so I'm going to apply this method to evaluate your overall speech, TM Amit. Eval, the first 4 letters in evaluation word, EVAL. So the first letter E is expectation. Now from your speech, the expectation was to, you have to introduce yourself. So you introduced yourself perfectly through your speech. That criteria met. And the second thing, V in this eval stands for value add. You added value to your speech by including examples from your own life. It is often said that any speech would become a good speech or a wonderful speech only when you add your personal stories, anecdotes from your own life. So you added value there by incorporating some of your personal examples in your speech. Then analysis. When you lost that competition or quiz, when you were a student in your college, you analyzed yourself. That analysis there shows that you are, what kind of person you are. So there is always analysis whenever you're doing something. So you learn by analyzing the incidents that you're going through. That's a wonderful thing again, your speech. And then the lesson, the overall lesson out of your speech. Again, learn throughout the journey. This is the lesson that we as an audience can take away from your speech. So everything was perfect. Expectation, value add, analysis, and lesson from your speech. The only couple of things that I can tell you, you might try to include in your speech next time when you give speech is your body language. Had you stood while speaking, while giving speech, would have made it a better speech. And also the vocal variety in your voice modulation, try to do these 2 things, body language and vocal, bring some variety in your vocal expression while you're giving speech, will definitely make your speech much better. So I hope you will take this in positive, and I challenge you next time when you're going to deliver a speech, try to incorporate these 2 things in your speech. And I wish you all the best for your future speeches. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shiva. I have a quick question for the audience. How many of you felt that Shiva is an experienced Toastmaster giving a speech evaluation today? Thank you. For your information, this person is giving his first speech evaluation as part of L1P2 project, 3rd assessment. And what all he learned was from the workshop that we have done. He couldn't attend the session, so he went through the video a couple of times and the training, and that's how he came up. Other thing I love about Shiva is he always brings those abbreviations, and he did it well in even the evaluation. Great job, Shiva. I'm proud of you for this.
Thank you, DTM.
Next is our Antojan. He is evaluating speech of Toastmaster Indira. He is going to reveal how mystery of Toastmaster Indira has mystified the audience. Over to you, Anto.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu. In fact, I must say that there's no mystery in Miss Indira's speech, because in fact, what she has convinced me and what she has convinced the audience, that she is definitely a natural and confident speaker. I must applaud her, and I must ask everybody to applaud this icebreaker speech. And to be really honest, it is, I don't believe Toastmaster Raghu saying after her speech that she was shy 4 weeks ago to speak. I felt that I was observing a confident speaker. Your ability to stand straight, be extremely comfortable with your gestures, look at the camera and speak tells me there is a huge, huge path right in front of you as a speaker and as a communicator. Your objectives for this speech are: 1, to introduce yourself to the audience, and 2, to understand the basic structure of a speech. Now, you have introduced yourself to the audience very well. You chose a chronological structure, and that means that you've clearly identified how to structure a speech. You opened with ease, I would say, just like a seasoned Toastmaster would open. Pose a question to the audience. If any of the veteran Toastmasters are here, you would agree, asking a question to the audience is not easy, but she challenged herself and pushed herself to ask something. That's known as connecting with the audience. And that is, you could say, something that you really probably do in a couple of speeches, but you did it right at the get-go. So I really commend you for that. The other areas where I feel is that you were definitely interesting to speak, interesting to hear. At the same time, I feel that you have natural comfort in terms of speaking to the audience. The ability to start from, let's say, your childhood and chronologically go till where you became an entrepreneur and you have a fashion startup was really commendable. And to be honest, even for an icebreaker speech, I don't see a lot of things that probably needs to change. But as an evaluation, I'll give some suggestions which you could probably inculcate in your next speech. Some of my observations were the following. Number 1, there was a point where there were certain disturbances. I'm not sure whether from a audience perspective, I'm not sure whether this is internal or external. And I'll explain this a little further. External disturbances could be an interruption from the audience, an external noise that is disturbing you or bothering you, which is not allowing you to speak. How you handle this is address the disturbance immediately. If it's a disturbance that is there, just tell the audience, I think there's a disturbance. I hope you can hear me clearly, and just address it and move on. If it's bothering you, if it's not, just proceed as normal. If you're nervous, just take a deep breath. Understand the audience doesn't know your speech. You are giving the speech the first time. Your content is extremely unique. You don't need to worry about it. And I really didn't feel any sort of nervousness when you began, and you finished your speech extremely strongly. But in between, probably a slight hiccup, which is, I'm sure you can challenge yourself in the next speech and take care of that. All in all, I see you as a blossoming and upcoming speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster Raghu, and kudos to Ms. Indra.
Thank you very much. Certainly, Anto has shown style and it's on flow to do speeches or evaluations. Thank you. Let us move to the next speaker, who was Junaid. He will be evaluated by our visiting Toastmaster, Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi, the stage is yours.
Greetings, everyone. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. I congratulate Toastmaster Junaid for taking that one single step and finishing your icebreaker beautifully. I will structure my evaluation in three parts. The first one will be commendations, things I really liked about your speech. Second one, recommendations, things that would have gone better. And I would summarize it in a line or two in the ending. So your speech, never give up. It is really good for an icebreaker. I really enjoyed listening to you. The best part of this speech is all of us got to know about you. You were talking about your life in a detailed manner. You were talking about your work, like you were describing your job, then your import-export business, and then you spoke about your restaurant business, and then your way to Toastmasters. And with this, you seem to be a very passionate person. Your eye contact with the audience was really nice, and I like that about this speech. You use words like leap of faith, which is commendable. You also mentioned about your love for traveling and books. These are some really good things about your speech, and I think you should keep this going. A few recommendations which will add volume to your speech are: first one, it would be nice if you stand up and give your speech, because that will help you embrace the actual public speaking. You can nicely use your hand gestures, you can move, you can use your, this would improve your body language. So please stand up while giving your speech. Second thing is your pace was a bit fast and your voice was monotonous throughout. It would be nice if you take little breaks or short pauses in between and give your speech in a more effective manner because you had time. Voice modulations, raise your voice, bang your table if you think you're making a point. Slow down if you think it is necessary. So voice modulations is one thing I would want you to work on. The third, the last and the most important recommendation was you spend so much time talking about your job, what you do. But all of us want to know who is Junaid? What kind of a person is he? What are Junaid's likes? What are his dislikes? So it would have been nice if you spent some time talking about yourself, your life. So these are 3 recommendations I would suggest. And apart from these, it was a very nice speech. To summarize it, the biggest takeaway we all had, I'm telling it as an audience, is no matter how many times life knocks you down, never give up. I'm going to take this with me and I'm going to, keep that in my mind whenever I face a bad situation. I would like to give you one challenge, that is to stand up in your speech and use a bit of voice modulation. With this, I conclude my evaluation and hand over stage back to Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Raghu. Thank you.
See, this is what happens when an inspirational speaker comes as an evaluator and they inspire you to do and they push you to do a lot. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Vaishnavi. Now, can we have from a beautiful, or rather handsome, and the tallest among us, Toastmaster Milind, to give the timer report for today.
Raghu, evaluator 4?
I'm sorry, this is what happened. The evaluator 4 is Abdul. He will be evaluating our Toastmaster Saurabh's speech. Abdul is again, I would say, is an entrepreneur and is always humble and always down to earth, ready to learn and ready to help others. Over to you, Abdul.
Thank you, DTM Raghu. I was really pleased when you said beautiful. I should start putting on some stretch now. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Thank you, Toastmaster Saurabh, for delivering a project on a very important topic, artificial intelligence, which affects the human race immensely in our day-to-day life. Toastmaster Saurabh, the best thing I liked about his speech was that it was very well researched and presented with excellent PowerPoint slides together with the actual references from where you have collected the information. Kudos to that. Secondly, you delivered a memorable speech, which I would remember for a long time to come. You charted the history of artificial intelligence since John McCarthy coined the term artificial intelligence in 1956 until how it's going to change the world in future. Thirdly, another important thing I liked about your speech was that you were very comfortable, relaxed, and confident throughout with good hand gestures throughout your speech. This is indeed the trait of a good storyteller. Well done for that. Toastmaster Saurabh, while I enjoyed your interesting speech, I would like to make 2 recommendations which I believe your speech would be taken to the next level. I think your story would have been even greater if you could have added some personal experience dealing with artificial intelligence. That's one thing. Secondly, Claude Shannon said once, a time will come when we all will be robots when we all will be two robots, what dogs are to human race now. Toastmaster Saurabh, while you painted a very positive picture of artificial intelligence, you could have added the downside as well to the story so that the audience will get a complete picture, the pros and cons. All in all, your speech made me want to listen more from you, and indeed it was a memorable one. Your speech had a well-researched content with a wonderful presentation. Undoubtedly, artificial intelligence is the new electricity. For the speaker of your caliber, you probably could have added a personal experience and some emotions in your speech to make it good to great. Congratulations to you on delivering an excellent speech, achieving the purpose of your project, and also completing your level 1. And I look forward to hearing more and more from you. Thank you.
Just like the person who is tenderly taking care of the plants so that they don't get any damage. This is how the evaluator, Toastmaster Abdul Rahman, has evaluated. Thank you very much, Abdul. Now it's a time as let us, our 6 feet 1 inch tallest guy among us to give us to tell us how we are done on the time. Over to you.
Thank you, DTM Raghu. A lot of people have called me lamppost to camel to giraffe. So I've been called by so many names, and 6 feet 1.5 I call, because that half inch, I think I go up and down, and that goes up and down continuously. So I stick to 6 feet 1 inch. And people say you taller than Amitabh Bachchan, but I say I'm still young, still not that tall as his own son, Abhishek Bachchan. But thank you for introducing that way, DTM Raghu. I would say everybody was within time. Speaker 1, Indra, took, I am going to give my report as prepared speeches. Speaker 1, Indra, took 6 minutes, 40 seconds. Speaker 2, Amit, took 4 minutes, 58 seconds. Speaker 3, Zunaid, took 4 minutes, 41 seconds. And Speaker 4, Saurabh, Toastmaster Saurabh, took 7 minutes, 7 seconds. So I think everybody is within the time limit. The educational session, which David Hughes took, overall, we took 46 minutes, which had very interesting sessions in between. I loved that session a lot. Thank you so much, David, for that session. I learned a lot. I have few questions about it. I don't know if we get it, then we get time, I will ask about that humorous speech on. Section 3 was about evaluations. It was 2 to 3 minutes per speaker as an evaluator. So evaluator 1, Shiva, Toastmaster Shiva, took 3 minutes, 27 seconds. Evaluator 2, Toastmaster Anto, took 3 minutes, 29 seconds. Just you are about to miss the bus, but you saved yourself. Evaluator 3, Toastmaster Vaishnavi, took 3 minutes, 12 seconds. Evaluator 4, Toastmaster Abdul, took 3 minutes, 28 seconds, almost there. Thank you so much. This was my timer report, and everybody is well within the time. Thank you so much. Over to you, DTM Raghu.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Milind. Just to clarify, this evaluation is only for the prepared speeches, and the timing is only for prepared speeches and evaluation and education session. So I know, I'm glad that people were able to participate in the storytelling part, but yeah, we didn't time it. We just showed the cards there, and also no evaluation in line being given already by the person who is giving the education session, David Hughes. With that, we had an very good meeting today, but let us try to hear the feedback of our guests and visiting Toastmasters. Let's start with our frequent guest. He's being, I think, second or third time, Mr. Giri.
Oh, I was trying to hide away. I have to seriously apologize to you all. I joined the meeting right before going to break room, and then I saw David pushing me into break room. I was like literally sweating. My hands were like wet, sweating like, and then I went in the break room and I was so nervous. I was continuously speaking something or other. I was trying to make fool of myself and some couple of jokes. But I saw the slide where it has 9 types of humorous speeches. And I know, and I'm really assuming and guessing and dreaming that it would have been a wonderful educative thing from David. And I've been like trying to stalk him. I already went on to Amazon, Google, everywhere, trying to search for his books, search for his thing. Then there's an Excuse Me book. There's so many things about him. I am going to go back and see the whole video of it.
Sure. I will.
And
I'll share the link. WhatsApp.
Yeah. And the evaluators were like evaluators, all the 3 evaluators, 4 evaluators were like, they're on speakers, like excellent. They were not like Evaluate and Shiva and all the stuff. Like, and I saw so many of those icebreaker speeches. I have not given my icebreaker speech yet. So I hope to give my icebreaker speech in your club if you let me sometime soon. So I'm that excited. I'm sweating and look at that. I'm sweating and I'm that excited. But
thank you, Giri. We'll speak offline on that. And
thank you so much
sure.
for giving
Thank
me a
you.
chance to be here.
So before we proceed further, I just want, this is a small token of appreciation that we can give online to David Hughes for all the time that he has taken to help us. Thank you very much, David, for joining us today. I'll share this over WhatsApp or email. Now, I will, in the interest of time, I will adjourn the meeting officially, and then we can still continue networking and then discussing over that. Meeting is officially adjourned. So now let me ask for feedback from Jay Narayan. Jay, I really loved your speech. It's love. It was just like we have a sweet dish called from Hyderabad, double ka meetha. And then, so it was just as sweet as that tasting it. And so self-creating same way, though you are attempting at that, at the same time, the subtle humor was so sweet that we all couldn't stop ourselves. So can you please tell about what you felt about the quality of the meeting, that you have seen speeches and also evaluation?
I think for paucity of time, I'm going to keep it very short. First, let me tell you that it was a Sunday night, very well spent for me. And when I say it's well spent for me, obviously all the facilitators and your sharing session speaker, David Hughes, must have felt it was well spent. Otherwise, the audience wouldn't have felt the same way. The 2 takeaways for me, which opened my eyes from David, which was that I realized my category would be self-deprecating and play on words. So I shall be focusing more going forward on self-deprecating, play on words. I thank David for doing that. And look, if a man can open a blind man's eyes, I'm sure he's done a good job. So thank you so much, David, for that. And I loved all the other speeches and the sharing. And let me just tell everybody, do not wait to be a great speaker to go up on stage. Keep going up on stage, and one day you will become a great speaker. Thank you all for having me.
I think this is in line with what David keeps saying always, even on the Facebook or outside. You cannot be great to start, but to be great, you need to start. So always is one motto line that if you see David on the Facebook, this will be there in one or other post everywhere. Thank you for those lines, Jay. We had 2 people who had poems as part of the speech. One is Jay, other is our Jilma. Jilma, how did you feel about the meeting?
Oh, this is my first time and I enjoyed every bit of it. At first, when we went out into the breakout room, I was saying, oh, what am I supposed to be doing? But then I understood and I learned, and I'm very appreciative. And I will come back another time once I'm invited.
Sure. Thank you for joining us today. Diane, so do you want to send your feedback over chat, Diane? Thank you. I'll wait for it. Next, let us invite Daphne. Yeah. Thank you, Diane, for joining. Hello. while you are doing that, let us, okay, I think, Daphne, are you able to unmute yourself?
Yes, I'm unmuted.
Yeah. Do you want to give feedback on the meeting today?
Yes, it was